Hello.
Hey Tanya, can you see me and hear me?
I do. I do. Hello, everyone. Hello,
Okay,
Sudi.
everyone just say hello Tanya in the chat box. Just say hello Tanya in the chat box. Even though it's spelled as Tanja, it's pronounced as Tanya. That's what I found out from her. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hello,
So
everyone.
thank you immensely, Tanya. It's really great to have you in our community. So, people, quickly, Tanya is a leadership and transformation coach. She is from Slovenia, a city called Kranj. Kranj, is that the right pronunciation, Tanya? Have I got it right? The city that you're from?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
Ljubljana, but I'm from Kranj, so that's good.
Kran, yeah. So Slovenia is in Central Europe, and for many of us, we would know Yugoslavia because of football and other sports. So Slovenia was a part of Yugoslavia first, and now it is an independent country. And Tanya and I, we connected through a worldwide networking organization called as BNI. And Tanya has worked with the government for over 15 years, and then she got into leadership and transformation coaching. So, Tanya, it is really, really nice of you to have spared time and joined our community. So, I've given you an idea, but quickly, here's what this is all about. So, this is our inner circle leadership, and we are all learning about leadership. And we have our sessions. This is our inner circle session on Mondays 8 p.m. India time. And we have people from all over India. Actually, some people are also from overseas. We have people from South Africa, Europe, the United States, but everyone is of Indian origin. Okay, it's a very vibrant community. And the way this is going to work is that I have a bunch of questions for you. So I'll ask you questions, and thereafter we will open it up for the community as well. Okay, so if you want to just quickly say hello to everyone, please do that, and then I'll start with my questions.
Thank you, Sudi, for inviting me to your inner circle. I feel privileged and honored, but excited from the music on. And already what you shared, how you do on daily basis, is really amazing, and there are some really effective tools. Just for everyone, before we go into the questions, I always say take whatever inspires you, whatever touched you. It doesn't have to be just what I will say, but whatever you will hear today, because this is something that we need to hear today. And don't question whether this is for me or not, but how is it for me, how I can use it. So that would be my only welcoming introduction. But otherwise, thank you for having me, and looking forward for next hour.
Absolutely, Tanya. What you're saying is that let's be open-minded about whatever you have to say. Yeah, makes sense. So, Tanya, by now you would have guessed that for us Indians, Slovenia is a country that we don't know a lot about. So, can you tell us something about the culture, the kind of people, the weather, even the industries that are major in Slovenia? Can you give us some idea about your country to start with?
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, it's what you said. It was part of bigger country, ex-Yugoslavia, but now for 30 years, it's independent country. It's small Central European country with only 2 million inhabitants. That's for Indian sizes. It's one of the smallest cities, probably. But actually, people were very much connected to the ground, to the land. So we like to spend time outdoors. We have beautiful nature with highly preserved natural resources. So although we live in cities, there's nature really close by, and we like to combine these two parts for private lives, but also how to do business. So what do people do here? They're all, I mean, from Indian sizes. I mean, you have bigger companies, of course, but also for ours, some people like to be entrepreneurs or in bigger settings, either private or public, but they're very much creative people. They like to produce natural products. They like to innovate. So they are great innovators. And often in global market, because we're a small country and on the crossroads, if you will check out the Europe, we're always open to do business outside, within Europe, but also elsewhere. So it's also the culture in a way. The trends come pretty fast in our way, but then we're pretty, I would say, cautious about our culture, about our heritage. So we don't jump always so fast to the trends, but try to see where we are at and how we can use it and then to contribute. So great opportunities to collaborate. Me personally, I like to work all over the place, all over the world, not just place, but then meeting new people, new cultures. And this is, I think, a lot of potentials for both countries to meet, to know more about each other. And for the culture, it's then when you'll visit, that's part of the European heritage, but also part of the history. It's maybe impactful and different from India. Also the culture, the food, the cuisine, there are some traditional food, but also worldwide cuisine there, or newly, because people like to live healthy and being fit, so also the cuisine is adjusting. But then you'll meet Slovenians, although we are only 2 million people, usually in the all fields of walks of life, on some top positions or in some top countries, companies, because usually we are hard workers. And the working force is highly educated and high skilled in a way. Okay. So you will find them either in Slovenia, in Europe, or somewhere else. But always welcome also to visit us and get more about us when you'll be here.
Tell me something.
The weather, we have 4 seasons, and currently it's winter time, and it's almost freezing. So I would prefer to be on warm area like you are currently, but otherwise, yeah. Now it's snowing, it's snow here. So yeah, this is also something that we have.
Yeah. Sorry, what I was asking is, what's the language that most people speak? Does everyone speak as good English as you do?
Well, I don't know. I work in English, so it's better be good. But otherwise, we speak Slovenian language. But many people speak English because that's the first foreign language, and children start learning it pretty fast in the school. But then it depends how much you use it, how you need it for your work, for your life. And there are 2 main second languages as well, foreign. So it's German because of the neighbor country. It's Austria in a way in the northern area. And also because of the business a lot with Germany, or it's more speaking in a way. And the other is Italian with the border with Italy. So many people there also speak Italian, or now French, Spanish, whatever they need for doing business or just private lives. Okay. But English is pretty much common, so we will be good with it.
That's nice. That's nice. And, coming to you specifically, how did you end up becoming a leadership and transformation coach? We would like to know about your journey.
Thank you. Always when I reflect back, it seems, it was so long. I never know what it could be. I don't know, not so long or whatever. But I came to coaching in 2011. At that time, I was working in the government of Slovenia, and I was just getting into leadership. I was always passionate about it. I always was interested about it. So, but then I wanted to be better communicator, better working with people, and better in teamwork, and also then leadership. So I've more or less attended all seminars, everything that was available on that part, and ended in coaching. And when I did the training, I said that will be my profession one day. But at that point, I was in just getting into, in a way, doing the leadership career in the government. And I got the experience working as a leader, working with leaders, different people that I needed. And then I specialized in leadership coaching. And then 3 years ago, I became entrepreneur. So now this is my new profession and service purpose. So I enjoy very much. So I needed to step down because I needed to complete one career and being prepared to do another one. But yeah, it was a passion before, but always linked to learning, growing, and improvement. Like you were sharing, this is also what you're doing here.
Okay, that's wonderful. One question I have to ask you is, how different is the work culture in the government versus in the private sector? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking you. In India, it's like black and white, chalk and cheese. Whoever is working in the government sector for a long time, it's almost impossible. I won't say impossible, but it's very difficult for them to adjust in the private sector, and vice versa. Do you have those similar challenges, or is the government and the private sector not so different in your country?
Well, it's hard to judge, but for me personally, it wasn't hard transition. I was working hard before and I'm working hard now. It's just some things are different. Of course, there's a big system and you're part of it. And when you learn about the system and how to be effective in it, you're then, in a way, you limit yourself, but then you know how to be successful in it if you want to be. But then in being an entrepreneur and in private sector, I think in bigger system, there are some similarities with the government. But in the other, in smaller, like small businesses or really entrepreneurship, I think it's really different. It's different courage that is needed. It's different vulnerability that is needed, and different, you need to be open to reinvent yourself over and over. This was not something that I was experienced so much before. So that would be the biggest. And what would be the second is, although you do great job, you put your effort, you do everything that you would like to do, you still might not be as successful that you wish in entrepreneurship, right? Something's not the fit, so you need to figure it out. And usually in the bigger system, that's not the case. You can do the job if you do your work. Usually you can be successful, or you can improve something, you change something. So I think these are the biggest. But then in Slovenia is small in a way, so it has big government because the public sector just takes what it takes in each country, whether you're small or big. So I think many people also choose then to work in public sector for certain advantages in a way. It's high level service, I would say. I always consider it's for the bigger cost, and you can do so much. But then it's so much rewarding for me personally now, because when you work in the government, you never do enough. It's never, oh, good job, right? People just say, do it more, do it better, more. But now I see people, right, thriving. They change lives. They change lives that they impact in their environment. They do changes that they were unable to do before. And for me, that's so rewarding. I like really people thriving and moving on and being successful. So that's the biggest, I think, advantage, and for me, completely drive to just go on.
And when we had spoken earlier, you had mentioned that you have worked with people from different countries. So I believe you have clients and associates from different countries. Can you just quickly tell us about that? And how is it different working from people from different countries, especially who are non-European? How is it different for you?
Yeah. Well, you would be surprised how similar we are in a way, how much alike we are as human beings, right? We struggle with similar challenges on personal basis, and it's never easy when something not so nice happens or our plans don't go the way we would like to. What's in a way different is where we grow up, in a way, the environment that impacted us, in a way, because sometimes we learn certain ways and it's familiar, it's comfortable, and then we do it this way. And as long as we are not confronted with something new, something different, something challenging, we don't change, right? So I think that's the difference. And here I think we have huge potential to learn from each other. I always said also before being in the government, that's the biggest disadvantage, that we're all from the same environment, all from the same schooling system in a way, similar customs. How we can bring something new into it, how we can create something better, right? So that's why I loved always being open to other cultures, other societies in a way, different, what people are used to in different environments. And this is showing how we are socially conditioned, what we are in a way taking for granted, what it's normal, what it's usual, how for instance, wins and failures are considered, how we, and this is linked to my topics, right, empowerment and leadership in a way, because we put so much pressure on ourselves, how others are perceiving us. So this is the biggest difference. And you need to know about the people, environment, culture a bit more, and not jump so fast with tools, with different approaches. So that's why I like to use a really individualistic approach with clients. But through there, I learned a lot about culture, a lot about words. And then with this exchange, I think we can create really much more. And the other associate, I like to collaborate with different people. Sometimes it might be hard within the project. We have different working habits. We have different, structure, how we start working, what we do in between to feel safe. what kind of ground we need to take decisions. So this is different. And for me personally, huge learning, but also, I don't know, it's personal development, truly. Because when we pace down to know about each other, you just see you've been saved by so many things that could go wrong. But sometimes it's just easy. If we connect on a human basis, it's doing business, it's making connections, it's relationship based business anyway, right? So the better in it, yeah, also
Can you
it's
share
good for the
some
business.
experience of having worked with, maybe a very different culture from yours, and how did that go? Any stories you would like to share with us?
Uh,
Of
well,
course, you
yeah,
can
okay.
keep the
I can
confidentiality. You
try.
don't have to
No, no,
name
it's all
names.
open. I need to figure out because I take it everything from as a learning, and then I forget that was tricky part of it. But then it's how long I stay in certain project or in teams. Because I like to collaborate, I like to build partnerships, but then I like independent people, right? We are individuals in it, and then we create a team or we work on the project. So it's very much different how we take the leadership role, how we share the responsibility. So that was one. It was really mixed from 5 different countries, and especially that's maybe also gender-wise. And sometimes we struggle, women, whether this is allowed for me or not, because we Europeans, in a way, we do, of course, these are the issues, right? But me personally, I always had the chance to work with men and always to be on high positions. But I needed to do the work. I needed to bring what I have, and I needed to collaborate. So sometimes I don't question, can I say something or not? I don't question, can I make a decision or not, or how people will perceive me. I just take full responsibility for myself. So I don't call it as gender specific, but in some culture, this is still very much present.
Yes, yes.
Then how we seek for validation. Can I go in this direction? So there are some customs in certain culture. And I consider I experience way more when I'm in working with women in those teams that we have these kind of challenges and learning maybe and empowering each other than in mixed teams. But in mixed teams, it's just, yeah, often there was one challenge in a way, and I think it's really cultural based. What is considered to be usual and how much is needed to test each other, where we are good collaborators or not. And I was confused because for me it was like I'm in testing, and what I need to prove, right? Whether we want to do business or not. I mean, I show my references, I want to do the work, I show how I will do it, and now let's do it, right? How I can prove myself if you don't do it. But then some like to take it really slow, I don't know, to check it from different perspectives. And for us, that sometimes, from my perspective, that sometimes oh, they are not interested, they don't trust, they don't want to do it. So it was, I don't know, confusing, but now it's not anymore. It's just different. So we need to, now that world is opening up and COVID even more, I think we need to be open at the beginning, that we are just coming from different worlds, that each and every one of us is the world on its own, and just be open to get to understand each other and have some mutual, I don't know, language to communicate and then do business or whatever we will build our relationship upon.
Yes. Acceptance of diversity. I think that is something
Exactly.
which is we are getting better at, but still there's a lot, a lot to do. You touched upon a very important aspect that is, being working as a working woman, and especially in our culture where typically it has been a paternalistic society. We know the worldwide that has been the situation. So many women in the workforce over in India will all be able to relate to what you just said, that they also go through all these challenges. And but like you rightly pointed out, after a certain point you do what you have to do, and then let people deal with it, right? That's very well, that's very important. What I would like to know from you is, as a transformation, as a leadership transformation and empowerment coach, what really do you do? How do you help people? Who are your kind of clients, and what is the kind of work that you do with them? Can you just give us some idea about that?
Yeah. So we focused everything on empowerment, impact, and leadership because often we are not clear enough what you want, where we are at, and then we're struggling. I want this and this and this, and then we don't do the work. We don't know what kind of work we need to do, right? So I work with, three groups of people. So one, they're leaders. They want to be leaders. They are ambitious. They have big goals, or they want to be better at. And it might be just bigger goals or I don't know, more harder positions, more demanding. But sometimes also they struggle with communicating with people. So they struggle with one skill that is on leadership, right? So they hire me to train on that, to figure out how to do business better. And I help them sometimes on their personal and professional growth because this is one-on-one work. And usually I take them as whole personalities. They think that it's just business. They come from business and being better leaders. But then everything that we are, everything that we do, it impacts us and also what happens in our lives. So often it's a lot of life coaching in between as well. There are also some, I don't know, I often work with people who like to be successful, or they used to be successful, but then life happens, right? And it's not always just smooth drives up. So I work and help them through that as well. They have some their ways that are effective, successful, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So we learn new ways how to do it. They've learned, I don't know, how to heal some failures, some losses, how they can learn from it and then go further on and develop even more, achieve even more. So this is one group. Then there are entrepreneurs, often not taking the time for more strategical decisions, or I don't know, company outgrows them, or it's their baby and they're afraid to delegate things, or they or afraid to say someone, you're not doing a good job, right? I want something else. Or sometimes they don't invest in people, or sometimes they just would like to be more in operational work, more in expert work, and less in leadership. So leadership means working with people, right? Or at least you need to have a system that works. So here I often help leader and also their team how to work better together. But also from the outside, how to I help team how to be more effective, how to communicate for better efficiency, for better collaboration, and also how to know to work, because we are there for work, for the results, for what we are, the company. But that mainly everything stops in human relationships, and sometimes we just don't get it, right? So here it's often a great work that we can do. And for the bigger groups, I do some trainings, workshops. And there's a third group that they are in some kind of, I don't know, in between phases. Something happens, I don't know, it could be also personally. Children grow up, there's some illness, deaths, losses, spouses become grew apart or something, or they just lost passion, they lost motivation, and they need new goal, they need how to move on. So that's the third group, and always, it helps that more transformational part of it, but always self-leadership in it. So this is how I help them, and I have different packages prepared, and then I adjust it to clients' need. I like to do it person to person, because I think we are not the same how we learn, how we can improve and do changes. Changes are hard anyway. So I like to figure it out what's the best way for my client. And then I like results. So I'm successful if my clients are successful. So this is another challenge for me to find the right fit. And then we work.
Yeah. One of the questions that would be relevant for majority of the people here is, what do you do when the person at the top, it could be the CEO, it could be the owner, entrepreneur, managing director, if he or she is not motivated enough, or in your eyes not capable enough, and you're one of the next rung who is looking for directions, but it's not happening. So how do you deal with that kind of a situation where you're coaching the top guy and also the team under him or her? So what should the people be doing?
The biggest or the key in coaching is that we're willing to learn. At least give the chance that we could figure it out better way what we're doing now. And it doesn't work with people who are not willing to learn or change anything, or at least explore the options.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm often hired for consultancy, and this is already good service because it works better. It's usually when they want to do that much change, if they want to have some proven ways and then decide for one scenario to do it. So I do a lot of that work. And then in between, there are clients really great for coaching, because there's a difference, because coaching stimulates growth, it stimulates learning, it stimulates exploration, and for that you need to be open for it. And when people on the top are not motivated, and for me that's just a catalyst in a way. It just showed when people say, Tanya, can you fix my people, can you help my people? And I said, I'm not fixing anyone, but we can start talking with you, and then I'll figure out together what you need in your team.
Mm-hmm.
And with some people, I don't work, or they decide not to work with me. They say, we need you, but then they are not willing to do the work, or they are afraid what they need to change to make it happen, right?
Okay.
So I don't force it. I'm not for everyone the right coach, but I like to meet people if I am the right one for them. And I like then advise them in which way we could work to really have an impact. And usually it's way easier than it sounds at the beginning. And often we do the combination, what you asked me before. I work together with a leader and a team, and then they get motivated for the common goal. Because otherwise, if the team works separately than a leader, then it's not common ground, right? We're not together in it. But then it doesn't have to be, because leaders, CEOs have different role. So often we confuse that as well. They need a different approach. They're in different shoes. We don't get them because only they take responsibility as they take them. And often we judge, not knowing. So I've played in all these roles before and in my career so far. So that's why I can work with a team and also with the leader. But then I always bring them together on it. Okay. And it's usually just different interests, what they're together. And sometimes they don't understand each other. What's the problem? They don't take the time. And sometimes it's really hard to be in it and get it, right? So sometimes someone from the outside, being more objective, seeing more clear picture can help you out. So that's why coaching works with the outside coach in a way.
And, like I was saying earlier, most of the people in the community are lower managers or lower level managers or middle level managers, and a few senior managers as well. So what I know there can't be a simple answer to this one, but what are the common things that you find that people do that they shouldn't, and people don't do that they should at this level? Can you just give us a few examples from your experience?
Well, from my experience, we are not in the moment. We are not there where we work at. We are either in the past or in the future, or we think we need to go up the ladder somewhere. Or usually we then fulfill what's supposed to be success, what's supposed to be, for me, I don't know if I have the potential to do, I don't know, more complex things that I have to do it. But we don't explore ourselves, we don't get to know ourselves well, and then decide, I'm good here, my service will be here, I'm doing a great job here, I get the most fulfillment here. So one thing not to do, I would encourage not to compare yourself with others, but find, I don't know, more role models or people that inspire you, what they're good at. It doesn't have to be all together because that's their own way, but I don't know, one skill that they're good at, and then learn it, training, become better at it. Then learn in your current position what you're not learning yet, and you're here to learn, to move to the next step, either in the same position or somewhere else. But if you don't learn it, you get stuck. You're there and you watch outside, oh, I would like to do that, and then you don't. So I don't know, I always say, look around yourself and what you're not seeing and what you're not learning, and then learn that. And then we'll see whether you need to move in your career or in your passion. Something needs to change, or you will change within your team. And then it's one thing that we put a lot of emphasis into the system, how things are, and not how much we're co-creating it. So in a way, we give away our power. And this is the shift that I like to work with people, that we have all the power. We accepted the rules of the game. We accepted to co-play it, and then we're complaining, right? So see it from your perspective, what you would change, what you've learned so far from your experiences, and how the company could work differently. How, because you are there, the things are changing, improving, they're better. And then also explore the options, why you are there, and then is this the right place for you to achieve your goal? Because sometimes we compromise a lot. We say, oh, it's a safe place, it's good company, it's good, I don't know, relationship, but then I like this and this and this. So it's good to question yourself, why you're still there, why you're bringing to the table, and then what you want to learn in the next phase. And if you cannot learn there, then find new opportunity, create new opportunity for that, either in the same job place, working place, or somewhere else. But usually we make it really black and white. So another encouragement not to see black and white. It's only this way or this way, because we're doing it for years the same. Try new ways, learn new things. So usually it works if you see it like that. And if you would be a CEO of your life, what you're doing with your life day to day, in current position, and not using your potential. So usually we lack excuses because we're the ones not doing it 100%, and it's not anyone else to limit ourselves in that. So that would be the biggest. And what you could do more, it's if no one is doing it, be open to learn from some other places. Try new things, and you can be the one starting, maybe not completing, but things will definitely change if you take the stand for something that you believe in. So don't be afraid to expose yourself. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to be rejected, because eventually you're paving the way to the change that you're striving for. And if you cannot see the light in it, create new opportunity for yourself. And there are ways how it can be more successful or more impactful, and maybe on more, I don't know, in the more right environment for yourself.
That's really wonderful, Tanya. I actually, while you were speaking, I mean, these are golden nuggets that are important for each one of us. I, in fact, made notes. Okay, so I'm quickly summarizing what you said is that, first of all, don't be jealous or envious of people. Look at your own journey. And secondly, learn always. Don't stop your learning. Don't just say, I need to learn this and not do anything, but keep learning. Then you talked about co-creating and not see what exists and create something new. Don't just use it as it is or complain about things. And then you spoke about assess if this is the right place for you or your goals. Just don't become comfortable. Then see things in various shades. It doesn't have to be black and white. And I like this line: be the CEO of your life, and be open to learning from outside. So if the resources, the facilities, the opportunities are not available, then don't be afraid to expose yourself, learn from outside. And finally, don't be afraid to be rejected. So these are the points that I summarized. Guys, if I missed anything, you can just add it in the chat box if some of you have made any notes. That's really, really
Well,
wonderful.
there's one more. I think there's one more that usually lower middle management forgets: the impact that you actually have, because you're in a way the core of the company or organization usually. And I often say you're not the leader if you don't have people to lead. You are not the leader if you don't have the company or organization to lead, or the team to lead. So usually you make that team, you make that organization within it. So you have huge impact how this organization is run or successful. So that's one. And usually you have the right or better information with people, what you're creating for people, because you have immediate response from clients, from your customers, from associates. Because the upper you go, you often lose that sincere, honest, human to human relation and impact or information. And often, there's a lot of place if you're good and you're willing to do the job on the top of the ladder. But I always say, find your own place, because you don't have to go, maybe it's not up there. It has to be somewhere where you feel good at. That's why I mentioned entrepreneurs, because they often struggle because it's their idea for the company. They struggle for 5 and sacrifice a lot for 5, 10, 15 years. But then someone else could be better CEO than them, and they are just having hard time taking this hard decision. And sometimes they're willing to ruin company or people. So find your place, find the right level for you and do good job there, and see what impact you're already creating. And if it's not the one that you would like to create, then find, I don't know, go the ladder up. But some people upstairs that you think they're super happy, super successful, super everything, they might struggle at the top, because usually they say, I did it because it was expected from me. I did it because I thought that's success. I did it and the price was too high because I lost my, I don't know, family, my time, my health, my something. It doesn't have to be this way, and it's not always, it's not to generalize, but I often see with middle management that they struggle with these kind of things because they think it's just better up there. Sometimes they cannot sleep because they're the only ones taking decision, and they don't have good grounds to take that decision, but responsibility is huge. So find the right level and be there where you're at best and most fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said, Tanya. Completely agree with you. Can see people are putting a lot of points in the chat box as well. Please select all panelists and all panelists and attendees when you put in the points. So Tanya, next question is related to challenges. See, if things are going fine, then everyone is hale and hearty. There's happiness all around. But what about the challenging times when things are not going so well? Then considering your focus, the work that you do in empowerment, leadership, impact. So how, based on your experience, how do you suggest to your clients, what kind of guidance do you give to them to deal with challenging situations? Maybe you can give an example if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what's great with challenges that usually we just remind ourselves it's just us, that I need to work just on myself and with myself first. Usually when things going smooth, we do it how we used to do it. We do it how we like to do it. When things are challenging, we are way more open to learn something new. And sometimes we just find better answer or better ways to do it. And it can happen so instantly if we don't think or control too much. So it all starts and ends with us. That would be one thing. So it's easy. You only have to deal with yourself, right?
Yes.
But what's tricky when it's challenging, we are not in such a good state usually. The energy is more important, to be more cautious about, to be more deliberate, where we put the intention and not, what we are doing and not, and also to, in a way, be compassionate with ourselves, but also the others, because usually we put a lot of pressure that we have to have it, we have to get it, we have to have the right answer. And we don't, right? We've never been in that place. We've never been with that challenge. So how can we? And usually we come with some answers that we already knew before from similar situations. But if you just relax, okay, what's in front of me? What I've already learned, what I have, what I can borrow from others, I can use now and find better fit, better solution. Then it's just nice environment. I don't know, just the new horizon for opportunities and new solutions. So that's one thing. Be open to explore and not get afraid. And it's not about to be perfect, what others will say, because usually people are not in your shoes. They observe you from the outside. It's easy to comment. It's easy to be smart from the outside. But when you're in it, it's way less. You don't see it all, right? You don't have the big picture. You're in it. So bear with yourself and give yourself some credit. But then don't get stuck in it. Be open to question. And not just question some silly questions. Why haven't I? Why me? Why us? Why not yet? Right? And then the answers will be just because, right? And it's never ending. But then ask some good questions. How can this help us? What I don't see and I could see? Who I know that can help me out with? Who I know that can help me that had similar situation? Or do I have anyone that I can have good brainstorming with? Because I might have 3 solutions, but you might have 10 more or 3 more. And because it's not your issue, you're not emotionally burdened with it. And then you have better ideas sometimes, right? So just be open to be vulnerable in that state. But don't take it, don't underestimate it, but also don't overestimate it. So navigate somewhere in between. But then what I also think is to have some structure, because when things are changing and challenging, we lose structure, we miss it, because this is something that is challenging. It's not the
Yes.
same as we are used to
Mm-hmm.
be. So
Yep.
bring some structure in it, and usually some routines help.
Yes.
Uh, Also some, I don't know, exercises, some breaks in between good food and fitness or something. So take care of yourself. Have some routine to start the day and finish the
Very
day.
true.
So you
Yes.
have intention for the day, and look back what went well, what you've learned, and what you'll do better tomorrow. So not, I haven't done it, not yet, but okay, that was good, that didn't work, let's try tomorrow. So begin the day and end the day. So something like that. And also how you support your environment, in a way, people around you, be there for them. And when you empower others, when you try to inspire others, so it's not so much a
Mm-hmm.
motivation, I believe more in empowerment. What's good in them, what they can learn,
Okay.
how I can
Mm-hmm.
help you, then I
Yes.
empower myself as well. I
Very
give
true.
myself some opportunity to grow as well. So
Yes.
try simple, as simple as possible. In challenging time, the better. But then also, I don't know, risk something, because there's, what are you willing to risk to lose what you have
Mm-hmm.
today? So that's the challenge, right? I'm willing to lose, to risk to lose my, I don't know, comfort zone, me being
Yes.
successful now or perceived successful. So test yourself what you're willing to lose, and then how you're going to go about it, because it's not really a failure. I like to quote from John C. Maxwell. He said, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. So it's not really fail or lose, but
Yeah.
you learn. If you learn, right? So do learning. That's why it's not lost. So this would be the major, and it's as fast as possible go into the action, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
really just be busy, but be good action, right? Good in action. Do one thing and then do it well. Reflect on it, monitor, exchange on it,
Absolutely.
and then do another. And usually we just try to keep it busy because we think we control. So it's
Mm-hmm.
small differences, small changes, but then it's all the difference that it makes. And it helps you
Very
have
true.
good support system around you, and like you have now inner circle and accountability among you yourself. That's a huge, many people don't have it, and
Yes.
that's really important to use also, or to develop for the challenging times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you. And yeah, very true. There is nothing like failure. It is all feedback. Yeah, the good points, Tanya. Quickly, folks, what I would like you to do is I have a couple of questions, but in the meantime, you also think of the questions that you ask, that you want to ask Tanya. Just put it in the chat box, and then we'll get her to answer them. Okay. Meanwhile, Tanya, coming back to what you were saying, there is a lot of emphasis that you make on, focusing on oneself. That is self leadership, as it is called. So can you share with us one skill regarding self leadership that each one of us can take away and should be implementing, and how we can do it on our own, and do we really need, or how much do we need help from others to be able to do it?
Well, I like to work with, I believe in coaching because it empowers you. I like independent people, and I think if we're at our best, we do also great job, right? We
Mm-hmm.
are in different roles, we feel better, and then we are better in relationships, in everything that we put in the work. So one thing that you can do is to train yourself in a way. It's really self-empowerment, because in a way they say empowerment is something that someone gives to you, and self-leadership, you find a way that it makes for you, right? That it works for you. So it's action behind it. And one skill that you're referring to my knowledge, is self-awareness. Because if whatever you're aware of, you can at least accept, and then you can also take better decisions. I'm ready to change something. I'm willing to change it this much. I'm willing to explore if there are better ways. So self-awareness, because
Mm-hmm.
whatever we are aware of, we can change. And then
Okay.
it's another state, right? If you know, then you know, and you're not frustrated. I don't know. I still don't know. I'm confused, because that's usually our, I don't know, our mind plays tricks on us, and it's an
Mm-hmm.
excuse. I'm still confused. That's why I don't do the step forward, or I don't change. But then it brings some clarity. It brings.
Yes.
So another thing is to take the ownership for yourself.
Mhm.
And it's first being self-aware, explore yourself, learn different things. But then what happens? We want to have the end result, but we are not accurate enough where we are currently at. We don't want to look at it. We want to
Mhm.
stay in it because we want to run out of it. So that
True.
would be another thing, to be really self-aware and accurate where we are currently at, where we are going, and then what's the tiny next step, because in that step it lies the right answer, what I need to do, how I can
Yes.
do it, because
Yeah.
usually we are 10 steps ahead because we already know the answer, but for this next first one we usually don't. So here of course coaching helps, but if you're honest with yourself you can also help yourself. And I do one exercise really fast if you're for the experiment. It's on empowerment. I take people on empowerment journey with me, and
Mhm.
we can do it all together. It's just a few minutes it'll take us. Are
Yeah.
you up for
Absolutely.
it,
Oh,
Sudhi?
yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Just
So just
all of you in the chat box,
um,
just type ready in the chat. Just type ready. All of you,
yeah, just go
just type
ready.
ready in the chat box, and we'll do what Tanya is
Yeah, I
asking us
get
to do.
excited. It's just my topic, and I just bring people in. So just pay attention where you're currently at. Have someone goal in your mind that you would like to achieve. It could be by the end of the year. It could be by the end of this COVID period. It could be within 1 year in your business. Just make it, we'll do an exercise. You don't have to figure it out all life right now. Just one goal that you have in mind. And then in a way where you're currently at in relationship to that goal. So it's
Mhm.
our place where we are currently at. So I'm here and I want to go there. So we create some gap, right? I'm not there yet. But then I know some things and there's some potential that I have to achieve that goal. And there are some limitations why I don't have it yet, what
Mhm.
it might go wrong along the way. So we'll just go. Okay. We have now beginning point and end point. So we go on the journey and I just invite you to go with me. And along the way towards our goal, we will just release on one hand, we will gather our potential, and on the other, we'll gather our limitations. Okay, and I'll just
Mhm.
guide you one step at a time. So make a next step further on with one of your potentials that you have to achieve the goal that you want. I don't know, I'm skillful enough, I'm experienced enough, I've done so much work already, I have the right team, whatever. So just all the potential that you see put in one hand. And
Mhm.
then on the other, what's the limitation? Why you don't have it yet? What might go wrong? Why you might not lose this potential? And
Mhm.
then we'll breathe in and breathe out, release your hands. And then you see the end goal. So it's like a door that you will open up when you
Okay.
go through your goal that you already achieved. And we're going to do it in 3 steps. So every step, you just release everything that you are able to release. That's limitation, limiting belief, and use all the potential that you know to empower yourself.
Sorry,
So it's
one
self
question. Do we
leadership.
need to close our eyes?
If you wish, you can close it, but otherwise, some people like to go watching their goal straight in the eyes. So you do however it fits for you, but we just go. So we do the first step and release all the tension, all limiting belief towards your goal, and use all the potentials that you already have to solve it. All the knowledge, some techniques that you've learned, experiences. And then we move on to the second step, gather all again because the tension is growing. There are just 2 steps towards your goal. And now release it like you would put the jacket down, like you would put some accessory baggage. So, bad experiences, not closed deals, some losses, some challenging thoughts, whether I can really do it. Is this really me? Do I know enough? So just release it. Everything that is burdening you down, slowing your step, just breathe it through. And just like you would be putting your wardrobe that was from last season, you just put it down. And you make another step. And then you breathe in, breathe out, because there's only one step towards that door. And now remember yourself. You are as powerful as you allow yourself to be free to achieve that goal you strive for. And it's up to you how you're going to use that power, that freedom, entering that door, and then making that goal your reality. So with next step, we release everything that prevents you to do good work, to achieve that goal. And breathe in, breathe out, and step further. And then you're like in lounge, there are some other people, but you can still put some coat, some umbrellas, some suitcase, everything that still doesn't belong to the main room. Because when you enter into the main room, there are only people who are powerful and free. They are making a difference and they've achieved their goal, the goal that they set for themselves. And when you're ready, just enter the main room and take your seat. You will know where's your place, and it's only one place for you. So you'll find a one and take a seat around the table. And then you notice there are some other people. They've all achieved their goals. And just notice what the expression on their faces because they've achieved their goals. Notice what's your expression. We're giving out to people because you've achieved your goal using your power and your freedom. Then it's one word, why you're here, what you're given, achieving that goal, why you did it, who did you become achieving it. And then take one word, one message that comes your way, why you wanted to achieve that goal. And share it with people around the table. You don't have to know them. You just know that they are there. They're on their own path and they're achieving their own goals as best as they know how to. And just share a message, why you did it, why it's so important that you did it, and what was necessary for you to achieve it. Either to take decision, stop doing something, start doing something, and then ask yourself one thing. What was the key that you felt empowered enough to go all the way through the doors and all the way towards the table where there are achievers, where there are people who achieve their goals, being empowered to make the impact that they desire. When you have the information, you can thank yourself, you can greet others, you can share your gift with them, and then turn yourself like you would go back 480 degrees, and you watch the beginning point where you started the journey. And now we've already created your future from here and now. We just release you from all the tension. What could go wrong? Why not yet? You already did it in your mind. And now you can figure out even better way to achieve it. So when ready, you can come back. And if you're willing to share something in the chat box, you're more than welcome. But otherwise, it's for you. And I wish you all the best with your goals.
That was an awesome experience, Tanya. Superb. All of you, if you liked what we just did, what rather Tanya did to all of us, type fantastic in the chat box. If you liked the experience that we just had, type fantastic in the chat box. That's really, really amazing, Tanya. So is this an exercise that should be done with a coach, or can a person do this on his or her own? What do you recommend?
Yeah, it's a combination of techniques. I like to do it within the Be Powerful and Free because, that's my program. And I link it to while you're making a difference. So you cannot do it just when you don't have to do anything because it's easy, but while you're doing it, right? You're powerful and free as much as you know how to be. And visualization, we can do it. It's just easier if someone guides us through because we can really release it. Yeah. We are not in 3 rows, right? True, and we can really surrender ourselves and it's really fast. And all the athletes, high performers, are doing it. And it's not just, it's in a way training the mind, but then it's also to see what might go wrong. What's the biggest obstacle? Which potential I have, but I just don't use it. So you just see the picture, and a bit you are disassociating from what might go wrong. And then you already do the journey. So that's, I would encourage you to practice it, to have it, but then see one step, right? Small steps. Usually we just see the nice end, but when you do it with steps, you feel the tension. You see, I just one step away from the doors, right? And it's me whether to open it or not. Because I didn't say open the doors, you have to go in it. If anyone won't go in it, I'll be, I don't know, mad at you. You all went through. We can do it. First is that you believe that it's possible, and then find a way that fits for you. So practice on your own. Explore that self-awareness. But if someone can help you, it doesn't have to be a coach. It can be someone that you trust, someone that you say, can you do this exercise with me? It's great support, and we can help each other a lot doing this.
Yes. Visualization definitely is an amazing tool, and you really gave us a very good demonstration of it. We are pressed for time, so let's just take, maybe you can answer these questions quickly. There were a few I saw earlier. Chaudhary Babu is asked a question. As a leader, how to be assertive and not aggressive? How do you, keep that balance between being assertive and being aggressive? What do you teach or coach your clients on how do you coach them on this topic?
Be people. I say be human being and connect with people. So, and don't give your role to people who have other roles. So know that you're the leader, but you're there for people, with people. Be there with them, connect with them, ask questions, how you can help them, what they have already tried and they struggle with, what they want from you, and not thinking you have to have the answer. You have to take care of it, right? And usually when we do it, we fix it. When we are with people, we're curious to hear where they come from. Which part of the task they don't know how to do, because usually they should be better at as you as a leader. They are experts on that field, but sometimes they need your guidance. They need your reflection. So in between, develop yourself as a leader, but then like you would work and developing others to grow as leaders as well. And it's usually we take it as, so what you can learn from it, what you've done so far, and what's the next that you struggle with. So we call it feed forward. It's not just feedback, but feed forward in a way to achieve that goal. What you suggest, what can you do, what didn't work the last time, and now you can do it. How I can help you as a leader to support you to achieve it. What would you need from me? What kind of conditions I need to provide for you and a team that you achieve it? Where do you struggle? Let's talk about it. So mainly that. Be human, and usually it happens when we don't have time, when we are pressed. Take care of yourself, because people cannot be responsible for your feelings, for how do you feel as a leader. They have the right to ask questions. They have the right to ask leadership, and you're there to guide them through. So take care of yourself and develop a routine to work on your, challenge that you have.
So what you are saying is that one needn't be combative. If we can work together with people, make them feel safe, then even when we are assertive, it will still be taken well. Is that right?
That's one thing, but then also be demanding in a way. I'm a leader, and I'm not giving my role to anyone to take the responsibility how I do it. But then I trust you that you do your job the best as you know how to. You are the only one responsible for that job. How we can work each in our roles the best as we know how to for our goal. So sit on your own seat, but then communicate with others, go together into the next step. But stay on your seat and not give it away in a way, or take everyone in your lap, I don't know, to take them further.
Yes, yeah, makes sense, yes. And, before we let you go, Tanya, I have one last question. What has been your weirdest experience in your coaching, coaching career? Anything that you'd like to share? Very different, very unusual. It could be funny, it could
Well,
be
it's
scary,
very
whatever.
intimate relationships that are built. And usually at the beginning, I was, because I said, I want to work with leaders on business, right? And then a lot of personal stuff comes up. And how these shifts work, how long we are able, in a way, to play certain role, certain way, and then where the right shift happens, right? It's just a click, everything shifts, and then people just either they light up or they cry or they say, I
Wow.
can't believe that you saw me. I can't believe that this came out. And usually it's something deep, either from childhood or something that they
Yes.
forgot or something. Now I see myself how I am with my son or my spouse or with myself. I can't believe that I'm the harsh to myself, like I would hate myself. So that just flashback with few clients, but that would be the weirdest. And then with teams is when leaders cry at some group coaching session and they don't want to. And when team comes together for the first time as a team, when they show emotions, when they show that they're human beings. So some, I intentionally said it as a weird because they all have some moral, some, I don't know, hangover afterwards, but those are the biggest shifts that they can do. But usually it comes from something that we try to hide.
Very true. Yeah. Amazing.
So
Amazing.
vulnerability, I
Tanya.
would say.
Yeah. I would really have loved to, go on and on, with this conversation, but we really, really are pressed for time. Thank you immensely. All of you type love you, Tanya, in the chat box. Just type love you, Tanya,
Love
in the
you
chat
too. I
box. We
wish you
really
all the
love
best.
this session. It's been great, listening to you. And without a doubt, and I'm going to take this for granted, we will have you back. We will definitely want you back in the community for another session like this. It would be an awesome experience for us to learn from you. Okay. Thank you once again,
Oh, you're
Tanya.
so nice. Thank you. I feel so loved. Thank you for having me. And I've just seen the question about the books. So, Sudi, maybe you can share the question after the session with me, and I provide you with some suggestions further on.
I
Okay.
will I will do that. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Tanya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Yes.